God has not done with you yet. Have you ever felt like your life is stuck on pause? Like the pain, the setbacks, and the disappointments are too heavy to bear? Maybe you've begun to wonder if God has forgotten you. But let me remind you today, God has not done with you yet. The Bible tells us in Philippians 1 verse 6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. God is still at work in your life, even in the moments when you can't see it. In the silence, in the waiting, he is moving behind the scenes. The challenges you face are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones that God is using to shape you for something greater. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. Romans 8 verse 28. If you've ever doubted, if you've ever wondered, let these words remind you. God is not done with you yet. Main body. Life can feel overwhelming at times, like the storm is too fierce, the valley too deep. But remember, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Exodus 14 verse 14. God is with you in the storm. Just because things aren't going according to your plan doesn't mean they're not going according to his plan. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. When Joseph was betrayed by his brothers and thrown into a pit, God wasn't done with him. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Genesis 50 verse 20. When David was hiding in caves, fleeing from Saul, God wasn't done with him. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. Psalm 23 verses 1 to 3. And when Jesus was on the cross, it wasn't the end of his story. It is finished. John 19 verse 30 was not a cry of defeat, but a declaration of victory. Your challenges are not the end of your story either. Though I walk in the midst of trouble, you preserve my life. You stretch out your hand against the anger of my foes. With your right hand you save me. Psalm 138 verse 7. God is still writing your story, and the next chapter will be more incredible than you can imagine. No eye has seen, no ear has heard, and no mind has imagined what God has prepared for those who love him. 1 Corinthians 2 verse 9. God specializes in turning trials into triumphs. If you're going through a tough time, remember the promise of Isaiah 40 verse 31. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. Hold on to that hope. Don't lose heart. Keep trusting, keep believing, and keep holding on, because God is not done with you yet. Closing, your story is still unfolding, and God holds the pen. The Lord will fulfill his purpose for me. Your steadfast love, O Lord, endures forever. Do not forsake the work of your hands. Psalm 138 verse 8. So rise up in faith today. Trust that he is working all things together for your good, even when you can't see it. Surrender your worries, your fears, and your doubts to him. Cast all your anxiety on him because he cares for you. 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Let God complete the beautiful work he started in you, for he makes all things beautiful in his time. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11. And remember, the best is yet to come, because God is not done with you yet.